Most animal species abandon or destroy members of the group which are maimed or deformed. Some human societies have been equally harsh. Down through the centuries, our literature, and recently our movies, are full of monstrous, misunderstood creatures. Through this conditioning, we come to think of the handicapped as objects of fear or pity or loathing. Tonight, we look at them as human beings with problems. Judy Heumann is the president of Disabled in Action, a political organization of the handicapped.
I think one of the real problems is that when you grow up being disabled, it's the fact that you're not considered either a man or a woman. And even the beginning of any kind of a relationship, beginning at all, because you're just thought of as a disabled person, person being second and asexual, and can you do this and can you do that?
Let me give you an indication of that. We have an elevator operator in school that whenever he stops on the floor, there are a couple of wheelchairs, people in wheelchairs waiting, he starts yelling, all right, get these wheelchairs in here, get these wheelchairs in here. And he doesn't take into consideration the people in, the person, the person there. It's just wheelchairs to him.
I don't think I felt really shame about my disability. What I felt more was exclusion. For me, the camp experience really was empowering because we helped empower each other that the status quo is not what it needed to be. Disabled in Action was started as a result of a lawsuit that I had brought against the Board of Education in New York City. There was publicity going on, and we set up all these different committees. One of the first things that Disabled in Action worked on was on deinstitutionalization.
There are some aspects of life which society is hidden from public view. The following program will remind you that they exist and that we all bear a responsibility to humanity.
I remember watching TV one evening before dinner, and on comes this expose about this state hospital in New York called Willowbrook.
The early morning mist gave the place an eerie feeling like a set from a horror movie, and once inside, that feeling became suddenly appropriate. The doctor had warned me that it would be bad. It was horrible. There was one attendant for perhaps 50 severely and profoundly retarded children. Lying on the floor, naked and smeared with their own feces, they were making a pitiful sound, a kind of mournful wail that it's impossible for me to forget.
It was really shocking. It was just like, how can this be?
The kids can't feed themselves. There are so few attendants that there is only an average spend time, 3 minutes per child for feeding.
How much time would be needed to do a job adequately?
The same amount of time that your children and my children would want to have to eat breakfast.
I suddenly remembered one summer, there had been a camper at Camp Jeanette from Willowbrook. I remember being in the dining hall, and this guy comes in. He was basically just eating as much as he could. He was just kept on shoveling it in until the point where he threw up. It was kind of like somebody coming in from the wild.
What's the consequence of 3 minutes per meal per child?
The consequence is death from pneumonia.
I had never seen the inside of an institution like this. The chaos that existed was frightening to me because I recognized that myself and other friends could have easily been in this institution. At the time, people still were not thinking of what was wrong with the Willowbrooks of the country. The civil rights movement was going on around us, and that was an opportunity to talk about why were we excluded and what did we need to do. There weren't anti-discrimination laws at the federal level, but members in the Senate and House were looking for avenues to make that happen. The Rehabilitation Act in 1972 was a perfect vehicle. Buried at the end of the bill was Section 504, an anti-discrimination provision. The language was drawn from civil rights legislation in the 1960s. It was going to mean that anybody who got federal money, hospitals, education, transportation, on and on, was going to have to not discriminate. It was like